a human being with a larger and more impressive penis than Dusty Smith. It is like a monolith of perfection, ladies and gentlemen. So big, so impressive, so wonderful.
Woohoo! I'm Dusty Smith, and I fucking approve this message. So those of you might be wondering, did TJ lose a bet? No, TJ didn't lose a bet. Like, I made a video about him last week, I guess. I did the last show I did where I pointed out his, what I felt was an anti-trans video, which he basically admitted to later, and I'll show you the video where he admitted to it. People are like, Dusty, you took him out of context. Nope, I'll show you in a minute. I didn't take him out of context. But here's the problem I have with TJ's position. TJ's position is basically, I make fun of everybody equally. What's wrong with that? That's equality. Well, here's what's wrong with it. Imagine there's a kid in school that gets picked on worse than all others, and every day they get shit on and bullied. And then imagine you walk up and start making fun of them, and someone tells you, hey, you're an asshole for piling on to that person. And your response is, I make fun of everybody equally. That's what a bully says. That's what a fucking asshole says. Somebody that has no empathy for the plight of others or has the ability to recognize what they're going through and take that into account with their actions. And that's what TJ does. TJ just doesn't give a fuck. I think TJ even likes trans people. I think he dated a trans people before. But he's a nihilist, and he doesn't really give a fuck about treating people with respect or engendering an audience that treats people with respect. And this clip shows you exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. This is him from Jake from the Bible Reloaded. Jake has his own stream, and TJ wanted his own stream night before last. And they very carefully, they asked him this question, and this was his response, and you can hear it for yourself. He knows the harm he causes. He knows the harm his audience causes, and he absolutely does not give a shit or take any responsibility for it. Have a listen.
But like the general consensus, I think we can all agree that most people will think like trans species or furry people are probably like, it's a little ridiculous, and people use it often to mock. So like when you compare trans people or non-binary people to like people who identify as wolves, it's kind of like, I don't know the words to say. It reduces them to the butt of a joke, and then people use that joke to then demean them and make fun of them and not respect them. You know?
Well, yeah, but so what?
I mean, you don't think you have any kind of personal responsibility towards how you, like, cultivate your audience?
No. No, absolutely not.
So, there you have it. He doesn't give a shit. He knows. I mean, she told him so carefully. She chose her words so carefully. She explained it exactly right. Can't you see? Can't you see how comparing transgender people to people transforming to wolves and shit is just specifically meant to belittle them and put them down, and that causes your audience not to respect them and go out there and treat them poorly? And he's like, yeah, but who gives a shit? I don't have any fucking responsibility for anything. Okay, well then, fuck you then. Really, fuck you. You have a giant platform, and when you have a giant platform, that is immense, immense power. It really fucking is. You're basically given access to the consciousness of other people, to the conscious attention of other people, where you can basically, it's almost like hacking into somebody's computer, because your mind is basically just a biological computer, and they're giving you access to their mind to implant information in their mind. It's incredibly fucking powerful to have a giant platform. And if you do not respect the responsibility that comes with having that type of power, you do not deserve to wield that power. So, but unfortunately he does, obviously. But he just doesn't give a shit. And that's why nihilistic pieces of shit like TJ are just useless. They're fucking useless to society. Especially, like I said, at a time right now where we need to fucking be behind transgender people because of the incredible amount of shit they're taking, not only from society, but from the government. And somebody like TJ could be an incredible ally to help that out, but he just doesn't give a fuck. And his audience feels the same way. His audience just, not all of his audience, of course. There's a lot of crossover in audience. Some of his audiences are cool, but a lot of his audience are just nihilistic children, just like he is, that take his cue and go out and be shitty to trans people, and he don't give a fuck. Just doesn't think he has any kind of goddamn responsibility, and it's sad to see, you know. But anyway, so then after all this shit, he makes a video that says I took him out of context, which is ridiculous. He just showed you. He just showed you I didn't take him out of context. I said specifically in my video that he didn't give a shit, you know, about what he says to his audience as far as how it makes them treat transgender people. He doesn't care about ridiculing transgender people, knowing exactly the repercussions of it. That's what I said, and he backed me up. You just saw it. So anyway, he made this really strange video about me. And some people are like, he owns you! And I watched it, and I was like, what? TJ's fans are weird because this is a weird video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Let's just play the beginning of it. I'm just show you how strange this whole fucking thing is.
Dusty Smith thought he had the gift of gab. Turns out he's got the gab, but not the gift. So, Dusty Smith, yes,
What was that? What the fuck was that?
recently took yours truly to task for a video that I made about a list of 100 ways you can kiss the ass of non-binary people.
That wasn't the fucking list at all. Like, literally, the list was 100 ways you can make a world better for non-binary people. It was just a list of suggestions. It was like, say, somebody wrote a list of how you can make the world better for your mailman. And they went out to their mailman, and they were like asking different mailmen, hey, can you just give me a few tips, suggestions on how your clients that you deliver mail to could treat you better or make your life better? And like mailmen gave their suggestions. Like, hey, you could remember our names. That would be nice. Hey, maybe tip us on Christmas. That would be cool. And then TJ reads it. This list is 100 ways that your mailman is demanding you treat them. Your fucking mailman, they're fucking out of whack. They've gone insane, your mailman. Now they want you to pay them on Christmas. They're demanding that you pay them on Christmas, your fucking mailman. No. That is not what this list is. It's a simple list of suggestions that TJ is blowing out of proportion, like they are demanding this, like this is commandments. And the reason he's doing this is because he's trying to find fodder to make fun of trans people with. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows that there's this narrative out there against SJWs and trans people right now. And he knows that this atmosphere that he's helped create over the last couple years towards anti-SJWs and trans people has caused them immense fucking hate, lots of hatred pushed towards them because of TJ's actions. He knows this, but he doesn't give a fuck. And right now, at the time where the government has banned them from the military, the government has taken steps to make sure even doctors don't have to treat transgender people if they don't want to. The time we should be backing them up the most, he's going out there to find anything he can to make fun of them and put them down more to add to this atmosphere of hatred towards trans people. It's exactly what the fuck he's doing. That's what they pointed out to him, and his response is, I don't give a shit. I don't have any obligation not to be better. So anyway, basically this whole video, I'm not going to go through it because it was really fucking boring. He basically just says I took him out of context a bunch without actually showing any of the video and saying where I took him out of context, because I didn't. Except maybe for one part, he said that I took him out of context when he was claiming that he thought cleaning the house was woman's work. He claims he was just kidding, and I took him out of context. It didn't sound like he was kidding to me. Like, I can play it back, but maybe he was. I don't know. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, on that one, maybe you were kidding. Though I don't really think he was. I think he was serious. But okay. But that was just one small point. I made like 40 points, and he didn't really address any of the rest of it. He just said, hey, you took me out of context. And then he basically says, well, since you're going to take me out of context, I'm just going to say a whole bunch of other shit that you can take me out of context about. And so basically he brings up this thing again where he claims that I invented t-shirts, which I don't know why it's actually a compliment that he keeps bringing this up, because it just shows you how little ammo against me he actually has, where the only thing bad he can think to say about me is that just Dusty made a joke about t-shirts. I mean, there's no way he really honestly believes that I think I invented t-shirts. I mean, that's just too stupid, right? And so I did make a joke to him about how he stole my t-shirt idea, about how the joke wasn't I invented t-shirts or anything. The joke was I sell atheist t-shirts and you're now selling atheist t-shirts and you stole my idea, which was a joke because he sold t-shirts before I did. And he knows I know that because he transferred his t-shirt to me to sell. So he knows I was joking, but this is the only thing he can think of to say against me. And he also brought up the fact that I claimed that I invented facials, which is another thing, another ridiculous thing, but it's also a compliment. That's the only thing he can think of to say about me, is this ridiculous claim that I said I invented facials, which obviously I never did. I did popularize facials. I did, at least I think I did. I think I helped popularize facials. I think that what I did in the early days of my online porn career definitely helped popularize facials in modern pornography. And even if it didn't, it's a funny story. It's a cool story. It's not really that big of a deal. But the fact that this is the only things he can think up to bring up to trash me about just shows that he has nothing. So then he says, he basically says, I believe you when you say you invented t-shirts. You know, he's trying to say things that I could take him out of context on, which I never said. And then he says, I'm a misogynist, and I think all women should be in the kitchen, and I hate women, shit like that. And he said, you can take me out of context. And then he says, Dusty Smith has a giant penis. It's just really stupid. The whole fucking thing is, I clearly got under his skin. But anyway, I kind of did like his ending rhyme here. I thought his ending rhyme he did was kind of clever. I kind of liked it. So let's see. He did a little poem at the end for me.
Have a good one. There once was a fella named Dusty, whose content got stale and musty. Now he acts woke, but it seems like a joke. Is it?
It must be.
I don't know. It must be.
Ruined it for you. I thought it was kind of cool, though. Anyway, yeah, that's the fucking shit TJ put out. It got 52,000 views for that. Holy shit. Craziness. TJ's fans, I'm pretty sure it was TJ's fans. They went to YouTube and they false flagged my video about him. So it's now age restricted, which means to watch it, you have to log into YouTube. Also means that it won't show up in the searches on YouTube or in the recommendations, and it also won't show up in the Google searches. So it makes it to where it's going to be seen by far, 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 far few less people. So, you know, I see the dirty shit you motherfuckers are pulling, and I do. I see right fucking through this dirty goddamn shit. You don't want people to see this video that I criticized TJ on, and so you're trying to make sure less people see it. Dirty shit, dirty pool, but I wouldn't do that to you guys. I would not suggest my fans ever do that. In fact, I suggest my fans never do that. There's no reason to fucking shut these people up and try to make their videos seem less. I'm not for that. And after my video on him, the video got mobbed by TJ's fans. And I can say they're certainly lovely people with messages like this. Amazing Atheist just ripped you another hoe, you gay slur, you F word. These are the people you're attracting, TJ. This is your fan base. This is your audience. But it doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. You have no obligation. You have no obligation to make a fan base that's better than this. Just appeal to the lowest common denominator of shitheads, right? As long as they're fucking sending you money through Patreon, as long as they're clicking on your videos, that's all that matters, right? As long as you can buy more fucking weed and cheeseburgers, I guess. That's all that fucking matters, right? Just so disappointing, because TJ could be so much better, and yet he just doesn't give a shit. Like, he just literally doesn't fucking give a shit. So anyway, after TJ's appearance on Jake's stream, he took a bunch of shit, unsurprisingly. And there's one person that was on the stream where he was talking to, getting to speak to TJ, the person who kicked off my love of YouTube, my start of rejecting religious indoctrination, and the reason why I met the love of my life for the first time, just to have him double down on being nihilistic was kind of disappointing, blah, and it was. And he's like, if it makes you feel better, I'm equally disappointed that so many of those who recognize the irrationality of organized religion still cling to variations of the equally unfounded concept of meaning. So basically he's like, you guys shouldn't give a shit that I'm shitting on trans people and I'm making my audience respect them less and treat them worse because nothing has any meaning. You guys are just like Christians thinking shit has meaning, expecting me to be a good person. That's such a fucking cop-out. Such a bullshit goddamn response. And she responds, trying to improve the lives of people around you by expressing empathy doesn't mean I believe that life has a meaning in a religious sense at all. It's just so stupid, TJ. Anything to fucking act like a piece of shit. Anything not to own up to fucking what you've done. To fucking justify your actions, man. You don't have to fucking be a piece of shit. You don't have to be that way. We can be good people. We can try to make life better for the other people on the planet. You know, that doesn't make me a cuck wanting to do that. That doesn't make me an SJW. That doesn't make me a soy boy because I look at my actions and I think, hey, how could I behave better? That doesn't really cost me anything. It's not hard to do. I just have to take stock of my actions and then behave better. And it helps people. It makes people's lives better. What could possibly be wrong with that? But he's just like, nothing has any meaning, so who gives a fuck? Just do whatever you want, let the chips fall away. Now, well, fuck you, dude. Hell no. Hell no. I like this world. I like the fucking people in it for the most part. And if I can make their lives better, hell yeah. I'm a hedonist. Maximize pleasure, minimize suffering, universally for fucking everybody. Get on board with it.